I've got one or two other items that I was going to raise with Ron, and so I'll mention them and then follow up with him. Ron says he's going to attend the Tree City USA Awards next week in New Lexington. He says that he's going to meet with Rich and David Simcoff next week to discuss the program for the Arbor Day planting and celebration at the end of the month. Athens Beautification Day is this Sunday, April 17th, from 9 until 3 p.m. His next item, I think, is in response to a question I asked about the removal of some Virginia juniper at East State Street and State Route 33. I noticed that ODOT had removed some trees there, and apparently it's now their policy to remove trees close to tree abutments, close to bridge abutments. And so that's why it must have happened. He says that the Asplund line clearance is continuing, and that we should forward and anyone out there who's got complaints about or any concerns about this process, they should contact Ron through the city office. If you in particular see trees that you think have been badly pruned, please take a photograph of them and let us know the address and send us the photograph. That will be most helpful. Then the questions I was going to have for Ron, and I'll forward them on to him. I noted that there's a plan to put some green space on West Union Street, and I was curious what the involvement of the Tree Commission will be in that. There appeared to be some trees being planted there, but I was hoping to get some more information about that. The curse of the Bradford pear. I don't know if you've noticed, but there are a number of sites around the city, and they may not be within the city limits. I'm not sure if they all are, but there's certainly a number of areas where at this time of year you see many of these pear trees flowering that have clearly have been self-seeded. Mm-hmm. And I was going to question Ron as to what policy the city should have for them. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they should be cut down. They're not a particularly good tree to have around, and they're clearly spreading quite rapidly. So that was one of my questions.
Unfortunately, a lot of them, I think, are in people's yards because they're.
Well, the ones obviously, if they're in people's yards and they're looking after them, that's fine. But there's an area along the bike path behind Walmart, where not on the side of Walmart, but towards the river, where there are a lot of these trees flowering. I mean, they're only 8-10 feet tall. They're quite small. It would be an easy project to go in there and remove them. At least cut them down.
And maybe there's some way of publicizing that so that people can get the information that we have about their impact on the environment.
Then the other item that I'd got was that I'm setting up a meeting with the City Service Safety Director to discuss enforcement of Title 37. I was speaking with the new Code Director about this, and he would like a procedure that's established with the city for us all to follow to try and get enforcement of Title 37, because clearly that has been a problem. We're not getting some of the landscape ordinance requirements met after they've been agreed here, and there needs to be an enforcement mechanism, or an enforcement process that he can follow, and so I'm going to meet with Paul.
I think consistent following of the plan by city officials is really important.
Yeah, well, I think it's a case that we need to just document what the steps are going to be.
Exactly.
So that the code office can follow them fairly easily and then proceed. It still doesn't mean...
One sort of glaring example of that is the lack of trees planted at the university, the Market on State. We're supposed to plant along an avenue to the entrance.
Well, on that one, Ron has been in discussions with the mall owner about how to come into compliance there. And so there is some active work going on there. I raised a question about 169 Mill Street, which was a conversion to a rental, and there are supposed to be 15 large shade trees there, and there aren't 15 large shade trees there. There's several, but they're not in compliance. And that was when the code director said to me, well, he'd like to have a policy on exactly what he's got to follow in order to follow this, because he didn't feel there was enough there at the moment.
Did the Fairfield Inn meet their requirements?
I believe so, yes,
Okay.
yes. I've not gone round and inventoried it.
Right.
I've certainly looked at it, and it seems to me...
Seems consistent with what we agreed upon.
Yeah, and that's the same owner for the Hampton Inn,
right.
and they did a pretty decent job there as well.
So it's planting a number of columnar trees instead of
Yes,
shade trees.
yeah. I mean, it's there's clearly an issue there as to the type of tree that finally gets planted. They certainly planted the number of trees, but some of them, as you say, were columnar.
Or vesiculate, I think it's...
Okay, yeah. So, anyway, enforcement. Hopefully we will hear more about that at the next meeting. I don't have any other issues. Are there any other matters that commissioners would like me to raise with Ron or other city officials?
Is it possible to have a substitute when Ron is not able to make it?
I will ask Paula about that, yes.
Yeah, I think that would be...
Okay. Anything else?
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Thank you, John.
Anything else? If not, we have the minutes of the last meeting. Again, it was a fairly short one.
Right. So I'll move that we accept the minutes as presented.
Thank you, John. And a second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Nancy. Any further discussion on the minutes? Any objections to approving the minutes? Hearing none, we have minutes of the last meeting. Our next meeting will be May the 12th, 2016, and with that we are adjourned. Thank you.